Let's talk about incomings in Adama Traore, as Bruno Lage was talking last night in his post-match interview, and he refused to rule out the possibility of Adama leaving Wolves, didn't he?
He did. He was just saying, he was being a bit cryptic. He said, I don't know anything about any transfers, but he said, all I will say is whatever happens is best for the club, and whatever's best for the club is best for the player, and that's all I have to say. And it was a bit weird response, but obviously there's a lot of reports coming out today, and there's been over the past few days about Adama Traore. Looks like this deal is progressing. You have the head.
I've got the Ali Gold little snippet, so let me read it out. He was talking this morning, and he said Spurs are finally expected to make their move for Adama Traore. Tottenham are looking to convert Adama into a right wing back, but in the absence of the injured Son, he could initially take up a role further up the pitch if Spurs do not wait until the week's finals, the window's final stages, to step up their attempts to bring him in. And I mean,
no surprise there.
We have to do it. We have to do it this week. Let's get him in for the derby. Come on.
Yeah, right. Was if he's no chance. This is definitely going to drag out a bit longer, but obviously, I think the Athletic and Daily Mail both reporting that the deal is definitely progressing. Tottenham set to launch 18 million. They're saying for Adama Traore, and I, for one, and I know there's been a lot of debate whether people want it or not. I, for one, I'm excited only if he's not going to be the only attacking addition to this team this window, and if he's not, we'll go into Bergwijn in a sec. But if he's not only if he isn't a replacement for an attacker that's going out, he needs to either be a supplementary player to what we have now, or if we do sell what a player we have now, then we have to have Adama and another one, because it's not enough. If Adama's going to be a forward player, if he's going to be a right wing back, then we definitely need another forward player. That's for sure. But he excites me. He's an elite. He's an absolute elite dribbler. You can't. He's so hard to stop. He's strong. He's quick. He's got such a low center of gravity. He's absolutely amazing at dribbling, Adama Traore, and he strikes fear into defenders. He commands attention. You can't ignore him, and he's very, very hard to stop. It's always just been his decision making and his ability in the final third that's always hampered him. Teams, like, for example, when we played them early in the season, we didn't have a plan to stop him, or we did, and even when we did, we
had a plan. It was called Ollie Skip. Brian Hill.
We barely stopped.
Ollie Skip.
We struggled. We struggled.
Cup game.
Yeah, in the cup game. Now he didn't start that one, but the one earlier in the season when he roasted us time and time again. But either the Wolves players on the end of his crosses were letting him down, or his quality was letting him down, time and time again. And I remember a game against Man United earlier in the season. He tore them a new one, but again they just couldn't either finish the chances he created, or he wasn't able to have the quality on his own chances. He's a player who's frightening. He's a player who definitely has so much scope to get better, that at that kind of money, 18 million, I think we would be silly not to consider it, in my opinion.
He did start that game because Skip and Hill did a massive shift on him.
I thought then he came on at half time.
No, I think he started.
I'm pretty sure he came on. I remember he came on because I remember we all kept saying Adama's. We got to wait till Adama comes on.
It says here he started. He got man the match.
That's the game we won 1-0.
Oh, this is sorry, you're right.
Yeah, that's the game. That's the game I'm talking about.
Right.
He roasted us. Yeah, he was brilliant that game, but they couldn't make the most of it.
So which is the game when Brian Hill and Ollie Skip?
That was the cup game.
That was
2-2.
The second half, right?
Yeah, he came on in the second half, and we did stifle him a bit. But I think first of all, as well, I think the worst case scenario in this deal anyway is we get an amazing impact sub that can come off the bench in impact games. Yeah, that's the worst case scenario, in my opinion, that this deal could bring.
Yeah, it's true, but
even if he's not going to be an amazing starter,
I just don't want him to be the Bergwijn replacement. I want him to be the Matt Doherty replacement.
Yeah,
that's what I want.
Yeah, 100%.
And if he comes in as the Bergwijn replacement, we're swapping one player with no end product for another player with no end
I completely agree. We're not adding goals to the team.
Yeah,
we're adding maybe a bit more threat, but we're not adding any goals, and that's what we need. We need players who actually can start producing in the final third.
I absolutely love the idea of him at right wing back. I love it. You know, bring us further up the pitch. I know his end product is lacking, but that's something. First of all, I think Conte can bring a bit more out of him, and I think he'll have better end product than Emerson anyway.
And if we can protect him, if we can like lessen the need for him to like to be tracking back or whatever, or protect him when he is up the pitch, like if we just give him free rein on that right hand side, he can dominate big time, 100%. And players are, and you know, for Wolves, he's doubled up and tripled up against
every time.
But they can't do that with Tottenham because that leaves because you know you've got to double up on Kane and exactly you got a lot of quality forwards that also, you know, need a more double, because Kane, I don't even realise with Kane, he's always doubled up and tripled up against every game because they can't let him shoot. If you let Kane get a shot off, then you know he's got a good chance of going in. But if you've got Adama there as well, all of a sudden that could open up space. And I'm just also imagining, imagine Adama and Lucas on a counter attack. I mean, they probably won't pass to each other, but that could be one thing. But if they learn how to play with each other,
Lucas on a counter attack will be amazing up until the final third.
Exactly, then they'll just screw up. But if they can learn how to play with each other, if Conte, the thing is with Conte as well, though, because he's very specific with his instructions, and he doesn't leave anything to the imagination. Usually he's very like hyper detailed with how he wants things to go. He maybe could be the perfect guy for Traore because he's known for turning wingers into wing backs. He's done that before with other people, and maybe Traore, if you leave him to his own like freedom too much, that's maybe where he can get a bit.
Conte will tell him exactly what to do, when to do it, how to do it, who to do it with.
Exactly, and maybe that could help him. Maybe that could that focus, a bit of focus on what exactly he needs to do, because his dribbling ability is the best in the league, probably by maybe him and say Maximo close, but like by quite a distance to a lot of other players. Like, he is unbelievable at dribbling. He just needs that bit of unlocking, and if we can, that's why I'm excited. That's why I'm excited, and it's a cheap deal. It's not expensive. I think it's worth taking a punt on. I think at the moment.
Yeah, I completely. I mean, both of us were talking about him in the summer, and we were for the transfer in the summer, and that was talking about to buy him further up the pitch. I mean, after his season so far this season, I mean, he's had a shocking season so far, let's be honest.
No goals and assists. But you know, as we said, early in the season, against United and against us, he was ripping them apart. He's struggling to
get consistent minutes as well at Wolves at the moment. But I think that it would be a very, very good signing for us if it is a right wing back. Like I said, I'll say it again. If it's to replace Bergwijn, I don't think it's a good signing. But if it's at right wing back, I think it's a very, very good signing.
Yeah, it could be one that goes under the radar, maybe.
Yeah, completely agree. And, you know, a lot of fans, you know, the reaction across social media, and a lot of fans thinking Adama to Spurs is probably a bit laughable. A lot of fans are thinking because of his end product and the numbers he pulls out. But I'm actually quite confident it'll be a successful signing if it is a right wing back role.
Yeah, I understand people's reservations. I think I still also have a few reservations. Are we really going to unlock something that other managers haven't been able to? But if anyone can, Conte can. I'm confident of that. And if Conte really thinks this guy is got the ability he wants in the squad to really improve it, then there's no reason not to be a bit excited about what he could bring. And there's one thing for sure, though, it's definitely going to be fun.
Yeah, that's for sure.
It's definitely going to be fun, whatever happens, because he is even at his worst, he's one of the most amazing players just to watch. He's incredible at dribbling, like a full flight. Like he's when he's does, there's some things he does, like just with his strength and his dribbling, which just amaze you. You just think, how the hell is he doing that? And you just, when he's doing that road run, he goes from 0 to 60 in like unbelievably quick.
Commentary from him in Europe.
Bing. Yeah, exactly. It's so funny. So I think it could be a good deal.
What do you think this means for Emerson if he does come in at right wing back?
I think it's great for Emerson because I think there's more competition at the moment. When it comes to Emerson, it seems as though he much like Conte, doesn't fancy Emerson that much, but he still much prefers Emerson to Doherty, and that's how little he probably rates Doherty, I would say. So I think he's probably forced to play Emerson as much as possible. I actually Emerson's coming for a lot of shit. I don't think Emerson's been that bad. I really don't. I think he's done a decent job. His crossing definitely needs massive improvement. But I actually think as a right wing back, like in terms of his ability to compete with other players on the fullback positions and stuff defensively, I think he's been fairly solid. Going forward, I think he's actually athletically really good. He's like always there every single time. He's never lacking. He's never like struggling to get into position. He's always there. He could take players on a bit more for sure, but sometimes he does, and he does a decent job. And his crossing definitely needs massive improvement, but he has, got put in a few decent crosses. So I think the competition will help him definitely improve, hopefully help him step up his game, knowing that he's not definitely always in the team like he knows now. So it'll force him to step up. And also he's young. He's 22, we've got to remember. Like, people say about Rodon and Tanganga, like, they need time, they're young, Tanganga do it alone. Emerson's younger than Tanganga.
Yeah, not only is he young, but he's coming in from a foreign league, straight away coming in, playing every game pretty much.
We're too quick to write players off, especially when...
I've been saying that consistently about Emerson. A lot of people have been coming up to me, at Spurs and talking about Emerson, and that's what I say to them every time, is like, he's a young player coming from a foreign league. Give the guy time. He needs time.
It's all right not to be convinced by him, and I understand that. He still has a lot of flaws in his game, 100%. But to say this guy's useless, he's rubbish, we have to get rid of him immediately. Like to say you have to get rid of him immediately. Like, come on, let's just calm down. He's 22. I actually think he's not been that bad. Like, I really don't think he's been bad.
I would say his Spurs. I would rate his Spurs career so far as probably about a 6 out of 10.
Yeah. But he's not been like a disaster. No. Like, I don't think he's been...
not been a Matt Doherty 2 out of 10.
Yeah, exactly. He's not like he's definitely shown in more in 6 months than Doherty's shown in the 18 months he's been here. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, and he's young, and he's a bit raw as well. I still think he's got a lot of scope to develop. So,
I also feel he looks a bit uncomfortable on the ball, Emerson.
Sometimes he looks really comfortable on the ball, and sometimes he looks uncomfortable.
Sometimes he's got that awkwardness about him on the ball.
Yeah, sometimes he does. I'll give you that. But also, he's very used to playing a right back, and now he's also developing on a new role.
Yeah, that's also a lot to be said about that positional change at that age in a new league. Mm-hmm. It's going to take time.
And I just think as well, I feel like it'll help him because Emerson's had to pretty much play every game, hasn't he? Yeah. He's had a rest here and there, but he's pretty much had to play most games. But having Adama there as well, the rotation will help. And I think that especially the way the wing-back role we play, it'll definitely help having Adama as competition and opportunities to rest. Competition will help both players, and I think I'm not writing off Emerson just yet. I think he's a decent player,
and it will give us 2 competent wing backs now on both sides.
That's exactly important. You know what I mean, that's very important.
Adama and Emerson, Reguilon and Sessegnon, and yeah, it'll do us the world of good. Them 2 on the wings, Kane, Sonny, and Lucas up front as well. So on the counter, we're going to be absolutely rapid if this Adama thing does come off. But look, that is the Adama situation.